Last class period, we learned about slope-intercept form. This class period, we're going to look at the standard form. So the essential question is, what is the difference between slope-intercept form and standard form? Your learning intention. I'm learning the different forms of linear equations, how to graph them, and how to solve them. So you've got two linear equations to graph. Try to graph one with a different color if you have it. That will highlight and make it stand out more. So pause the video and see if you remember how to graph now. Well, I'd hope that you pause the video and try it on your own. If you're able to do it, then you know you're getting the concept. If not, you need more practice. So we always begin at the end. So we begin at the point -3, and that's actually 0, -3. It's on your y-axis. So put a point there, and I'm going to move by going, the move is your slope, and it's -1/2, which means down 1 and then right 2. So I'm going to start at the point -3, I'm going to go down 1 and then right 2, and I've got a second point. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to graph that line. So if you were not able to do the first one before, pause the video and see if you can do the second one on your own. Okay, so the second one's a little bit trickier because we don't have any number at the end. If there's no number at the end, where do we begin? What is the one number that stands for nothing? That would be 0. There's nothing at the end, so we begin at 0. It's actually the point 0, 0, the origin. Okay, to move, it's +3/2. That means you go up 3 and then you go right 2. So I start at the point 0, 0. I go up 1, 2, 3, right 1, 2. I've got a second point. You can do this as many times as you want to get as many points as you want to connect. Draw your line. And those are the two lines that we were graphing. So, standard form is of the form ax plus by equals c. To be able to graph when you're in standard form, you either have to find the slope in one point, or you can find both the x and the y intercepts. So think about the word intercept. What does the word intercept mean? Well, it means to grab, or if you think about football where they're intercepting the ball, they grab that ball and then they run with it. The word intercept means where it intersects. So the y-intercept is where it intersects the y-axis. In other words, the x-axis. The y is equal to 0, and this is where it intersects the x-axis. So if the x-intercept is where it intersects the x-axis, what do you think the y-intercept is? Well, if you said where it intersects the y-axis, you're correct. The y values on your x-axis are 0. The x values on your y-axis are 0. So your y-intercept is where x is equal to 0, where it intersects the y-axis. Okay, so we're going to find the x and y intercepts of the following equations. So for the x-intercept, this is where y is equal to 0. So 3x plus 4 times 0 is equal to 12. 3x is equal to 12. You're going to divide both sides by 3. And x is equal to 4. So your x-intercept is the point 4, 0. For your y-intercept, this time x is equal to 0. So it's 3 times 0 plus 4y is equal to 12. 4y is equal to 12. Divide both sides by 4. And y is equal to 3. The y-intercept is a point 0, 3. So we now have 2 points. If we wanted to graph it, we could use the point 4, 0 and 0, 3 to graph the linear equation. So pause the video and see if you can do the next one on your own. Can you find the x-intercept? Can you find the y-intercept? Well, I hope you tried. X-intercept, where y is equal to 0, is 2x plus 3 times 0 is equal to 24. This term is gone, so 2x is equal to 24. Divide both sides by 2. I keep giving you the answer. X is equal to 12. So your x-intercept is a point 12, 0. For your y-intercept, this time x is equal to 0. So it's 2 times 0 plus 3y is equal to 24. 2 times 0 is 0, so 3y is equal to 24. You will be dividing both sides by 3. And y is equal to 8. That means this point is 0, 8. Once again, theoretically, if you wanted to graph it, you've got 2 points and you can draw the line. Okay, we're going to use the x and y intercepts to graph this equation. Pause the video and see if you can find the x-intercept now. Remember, that's where y is equal to 0. So 6x plus 5 times 0 is equal to 30. 6x is equal to 30. Divide both sides by 6, and x is equal to 5. So the first point we have is the point 5, 0. So 5, 0 is right here. Now let's go for the other intercept. This time x is equal to 0. 6 times 0 plus 5y is 30. 5y equals 30. Divide both sides by 5. And y is equal to 6. This point is a point 0, 6. Zero, 6 is up here. 5, 0 is over here. So I graphed the first one wrong. So draw your line. And you are done. Okay, now when we're looking at standard form, sometimes we might want to find the slope. There's a formula for finding the slope. So find the slope of the last equation using this formula, which is your slope is equal to the opposite of a divided by b. If you remember, your standard form is ax plus by equals c. So you're looking at the coefficient of x and the coefficient of y. If you're looking down here, we know that a is 6, b is 5, so my slope would be the opposite of 6 divided by 5. Okay, let's say you can't remember that equation or that formula. What else could you do to be able to find the slope? Well, you could graph it and then look at the slope. Or you could actually convert from standard form into y-intercept form. You could take 6x plus 5y equals 30. First thing you would do would be to subtract 6x from both sides. (5y) is equal to negative 6x plus 30. Then you would divide by 5. Divide by 5 all the way across. You can now see your slope is negative 6 over 5. Your y-intercept would be 30 divided by 5, which would be 6. And we have that graphed up here. Okay, so for the next, you're going to find the slope, find the y-intercept, the x-intercept, y-intercept, and graph the following equation that's in standard form. So pause your video and see if you can do those 4 tasks. Okay, if you did that, then all you're doing is checking your answers to see if you got it correct. So if I'm looking at this, A is 4, B is 5. My slope will be the opposite of A divided by B, the opposite of 4 over 5. So I found my slope. That was step 1. For your x-intercept is where what is equal to 0? It's where y is equal to 0. So it will be 4x plus 5 times 0 is equal to 20. 4x is equal to 20. Divide both sides by 4, and x is equal to 5. This is the point 5, 0. 5, 0 is right here. Okay, for the other, for my y-intercept, we know that x is equal to 0. 4 times 0 plus 5y is equal to 20. 5y is equal to 20. I'm going to divide both sides by 5. And y is equal to 4. So this is the point 0, 4. I now have 2 points, and I can graph my line. Hopefully you got it correct. If you did not get it correct, back up the video and watch parts of it again to get the understanding that you need. The last thing we're going to talk about, this is something I haven't emphasized enough. Slope is also called what? If I put the middle word in, will it help you? If I put of, will that help you? How about if I put rate? Slope is also called rate of change. That might be something you could see on a test later. So, how do you know when you're successful? You know when you're successful when you can identify the different forms of linear equations, when I can graph them, and when I can solve them. So today it is slope-intercept form. Remember that is y is equal to mx plus b. It's easy to graph from slope-intercept form. And the other form is your standard form. Standard form is ax plus by equals c. And remember, your slope here is the opposite of a over b.